Welcome back to the Learn and Grow Virtual Sustainability Learning Center and Test Garden. I'm Ann Zachary, the creator of the Learn and Grow Educational Series. Today we're going to talk about doing completely off-the-grid laundry in a way that might surprise you, using some pretty inexpensive things you can order online. We'll have links below. And this will allow you to do your laundry with really good results. I mean, better than I've seen in regular washing machines in houses, and certainly better than what I've seen in laundromats. Let's just get started. I'll show you how we do it. And first I'll tell you that what we're doing is we're using manual power and solar power and wind power when it comes to drying as well to get everything done, and using sustainable materials. And then we are collecting the wastewater in a bucket that will then go to water the garden. This is water that the garden would have already needed anyway, so we're just going to use it for this purpose first and then put it in the garden. To that end, these are the products that we're going to be using in terms of washing supplies. So right here we have True Earth Eco Strips, and the cool thing about this is that if you're using like a regular washing machine in a house, like a big full-size washing machine, or a laundromat washing machine, one of these strips accounts for a single load of laundry. Our little machine here handles basically half a load at a time. So I can just tear this in half, and this now becomes 2 loads of this little guy. And I'll just throw this in here. We'll put this back in here and save it for later. And then what I'm going to do is this washing machine, which is basically like a giant salad spinner. I mean, you put this in here and you crank it like you would a salad spinner, and it spins all the excess water out of the stuff, but that doesn't agitate it for cleaning. So what we're going to do for agitation for the wash load is we're going to leave the spin basket out for the moment, and instead what we're going to put in here is this sonic powered, or sonic, it's got a sonic component to it, but it also does regular agitation. So basically it's a laundry agitator, and it can turn any bucket or like a bathtub or something into a washing machine. So it's got these little suction cup feet. We did lose one on one corner, and that's totally my fault. I don't know what happened to it. So if I had any product complaints, it would be that the suction feet pull out way too easy. But you just mount it on the inside of the tub you're going to use for washing your clothes. In this case, we're just using the chamber of this hand crank washing machine, and then put water in here, and these little sheets just dissolve down to nothing really quickly. So then now I've got bubbles and suds in here coming up, and so I'm just going to let this fill up with water, and I'm going to sort some clothes into it. Now the cool thing about doing it this way too is that the hose is sitting out in the sun, and it's a dark green hose, and because of its dark color, it's even more absorbent of the heat from the sun than a lighter colored hose. And so what we now have is hot water that has accumulated in the hose waiting for this next load. And here we go. So we're just going to have, it'll actually be warm water, it's not super hot. But it's warm enough to do the wash cycle quite nicely, and get some things put in here. And just knowing that I can do my laundry in this space and be able to be as environmentally responsible with it and have as low of a carbon footprint as I have with doing it this way, I'm pretty stoked about it. And the fact that the laundry results that I get are really good, that the outcome of all of this is really good stuff. My stuff gets really clean. It has like this sonic component, and when we get to that part of it, I'll have video of that. And it vibrates and just knocks all the everything out and makes the soap that much more effective. So pretty happy about that, because everything gets super clean. You can see over here that there's stuff hanging up to dry. We're able to use the solar panel that we have, and it's just sitting here right now collecting sunlight, and it has been for a while, and the battery's been charging. And you can see that the unit that plugs in for the agitator is going straight into that solar powered battery right there, and it's a USB powered thing. It really doesn't take that much electricity, so this solar powered battery is plenty to power this thing for the brief moments that we use it. It only runs for a 30-minute cycle to wash, and then it sits off to the side and the battery recharges until the next time we need to do it again. So it's just chugging along, doing its own thing and running off the power of the sun and get everything nice and tidy. Okay, so as you can see, we still have water coming in here. It's not entirely full, but we've already got the agitator going. So it's over here plugged in into the solar unit. And now here it is going to it. Now right now it's in the spin mode where it's like just spinning its little dial around, creating waves in the water, just movement. And as it gets more full of water, that will be more meaningful. That will make more things happen. And because we don't have the spin basket in here, and because the intent is to have the stuff floating around a little bit freely so that the agitator can really make the stuff move around in there, we don't want it cram-packed or the agitator can't do its job. There has to be room for movement, which is why we need a little bit more water in here. This thing's a good thing can get swirly. And we need swirly. So once this is full enough, then it's going to run for, it's a 30-minute cycle, and since it's already started, it's got a few minutes already gone. So 20-something minutes from now, 25 or so minutes. Oh, so now here we go with the with the sonic part. You can see the water, the vibrations of the water. While it's doing that. See, and I think that is the most effective aspect of it in terms of an agitator. You can already see the water starting to get kind of ooey. Oh, see, get out of here. So then we put a lid on it just to keep things from falling in, because it can't really seal with the wire coming over the side, but that's okay. So then we'll come back to it in just a bit when it's time to drain, when the wash cycle is over. Okay, so this is now done with the wash cycle. It's now time to rinse. So we're going to pull this out and we're going to open the drain. I'll bring the camera over in just a moment so you can see. But basically what we're going to do is we've opened the drain so that the water can go out to the bucket. And the thing to bear in mind is when you don't have the spin basket in there, whatever is in there, the cloth and everything, is going to be pulled towards the drain and will block it and prevent the water from draining. So what I'm doing right now is taking things out of the dirty wash water, and I'm squeezing excess water out of it, and I'm setting it off over here into the spin basket, which you probably can't see, it's probably off camera. But by getting these items out of here, now there's no way for the drain to be blocked up by fabric, and the water can drain out of this tub and into the bucket below. Here you can see the water coming down from the wash tub. And there it goes down the drain. But we're not done yet because, ooh, there's like residue from what washed out of these clothes. So now what we're going to do, now that we've put this basket back in, now we are going to use it like a giant salad spinner. We're going to do this to spin the extra dirty water out of the clothes, because it's ready to do the first rinse cycle, but you want to get whatever is still, you know, in there that's wet and dirty as spun out of there as possible, so that when you go to put the clean rinse water in, there's not that much more stuff that still needs to be rinsed out. You want to keep as much dirty water out of the clean rinse water as possible. So That gets all of that out of there, so there's that. But now we'll turn the knob back to close the drain. And now we're going to fill this up with clean rinse water. So we'll do a rinse cycle of just clean water, and then we'll do another rinse cycle with fabric softener. So right now what I'm going to do is go dump the water, the wash water, from the first cycle. That's got all our dirt and our soap and everything in it. Y'all hear the hawk up there? Are y'all being good? Y'all be careful. He's looking at you. Get out of the pool. What are you doing? Okay, y'all be nice to each other. Okay, so this is now getting to the point where we've got enough water in here to more than rinse everything. We don't need to fill it all the way to the very top. We just need to be able to fill it enough to get everything rinsed really good, to get the water moving through the fabric and rinsing out any leftover soapy stuff, any leftover dirty stuff. And then we can just open the drain, let it drain back out again, and then we'll go dump this load of water once it's emptied out and spin this out before we do it, just to get all the rinse water out. And then we'll do a final rinse with our fabric softener. And this is nice. This is 48 loads per bottle, but because it's really half a load in here, this is really 96 loads of this little guy, because we'll use half as much for each load. And then that makes everything nice and soft so that it doesn't get all crispy and brittle. When you air dry things and you let it bake in the sun, it can make the fibers of your fabric break because it dries them out, parches them, and makes them brittle. So this is very much, when you're using liquid fabric softener, it's like conditioning your hair. So now we're going to spin this out to get the excess water out, the rinse water. And again, this last rinse load was meant to wash away any residue of soap and dirt from the previous wash load. So again, we want to get as much of the rinse water out, because the next thing we're going to put in there is more clean water, but also with the fabric softener. And we don't want to be mixing dirt and fabric softener. We don't want to be setting dirt back up into the fabric. So spinning out whatever little tiny bit may still be left in there totally makes sense. So now I've closed the thing for the drain so it can't drain anymore. And I'm going to put half a cap of this in here. And again, links below for all the products that we're using. And then, where's the hose? And then the hose. So while this is filling back up, I'm going to go dump out this extra water. So we're at the point now where we've got everything in here completely saturated with water that has the fabric softener in it. So we've got fabric softener permeating everything. So we can go ahead and drain this now, and then spin this out, and then get that excess water out, and then all the water that is being drained right now and will be spun out in just a moment will then again get dumped into the garden, and once this is all spun out, it's ready to hang up to dry. Okay, and that's all drained. So then we can spin it out, get the excess water. There we go. All the extra spun out. So now that I've got all of this spun out, it's all ready to hang up to dry. So, easy enough. Oh, and it smells good. And there you have it. This is our laundry procedure for doing completely off-the-grid laundry with excellent results and producing environmentally safe water that you can then put into your garden. Thank you for joining us.